time about the time that I got a B and literally lost my mind. So let me set the scene for you. It's 6th grade. We have these like 3 core classes, like ELA, and then we had a science class and a social studies class. And my science class had a quiz or like a test of some sort that we had to do. And I, being a type A perfectionist, had been studying so hard for this test, and it was kind of a more challenging test for some reason. I just was really struggling with it. So I was already anxious and worried and stressed about this test. And it was one of those things where you take the test and then you immediately get your grade afterwards. Public school was always so like weird about tests. Like you all had to be quiet. And I guess I understand it to an extent, but it made my anxiety just like next level. And just analyzing every single question, rereading. I get to the end of the test. There's a handful of questions that I'm really unsure about. So I just have to hit submit. So I hit submit and immediately my grade is like an 80 something percent and it's a B. And when I tell you, my entire soul sank. And I know that this sounds so dramatic, but I feel like there are so many people that struggle with this anxiety and it's kind of overlooked. You don't talk about it. And especially as like a 12-year-old, like it just, nobody understood. My heart literally sank and I just remember tears streaming down my face. It was like one of those moments where like I couldn't control myself. Like I couldn't control my emotions. I remember people around me started to notice and like eventually like my teacher got involved and I ended up crying through the whole class. My teacher was trying to comfort me and ask me questions and I literally couldn't speak. I could not tell her what was wrong. And so I ended up going from that class to English Language Arts with a new teacher. This teacher kept asking me and was like, what is wrong? Like you need to communicate, like is something wrong? I was so afraid to admit that I had gotten a B and that my grade was going to go down. And I had this irrational fear, I think, underlying that, like I was failing life. I was failing school. I was so embarrassed to tell anyone that I got a B that I told her that I got in trouble. I think part of me was embarrassed that I was upset about getting a B and then also embarrassed that I got a B. And you get to that point where you're crying so much that you make yourself vomit. And I say all this to say, I think that there are a lot of people that struggle with anxiety that don't admit it and that can't admit it. Psalm 91 says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. If you're somebody that is anxious, there is a shelter. There is a comfort. There is a place to go where no B, no grade, no nothing can ever shake you. It doesn't feel tangible now, but I promise once you taste and see of this good shelter, you will never want to leave it.